Hi, it's Dawn. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm already in progress on this page here, and I lost the file. I don't know. It's just not there anymore. So what I'm gonna do is pick up where I left off and tell you what I've got going on here. I've been using some of the pinks and the purples from the Art Nouveau set by Kuretake. This is the the Gansai Tambi, and I just took out these 5 colors, which are Mauve Taupe, Potter's Pink, Pale Pink, Coral Pink, and Alizarin Crimson. You know, and if you're an artist, that's like no alizarin crimson, but these are all like muted. These are all like neutralized versions of those or whatever. But what I had started doing was I have a grid on here, and I was just painting squares. And then at some point, I decided to come back and put like, you know, water droplets on it, and then use my paper towel to press and pull up and see if I could get patterns. But I'm not sure I'm real crazy about that, so I probably am going to instead do some white doodling over top of these squares. So that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to get these activated and then get going. All right, so I've put some water in here, given them about 10 minutes to activate. And that's the hardest part for me, is waiting for them to activate properly. Because if you start messing around with these guys before, they don't do great. They don't do well at all. So I am gonna, let's see. How do I want to do this? I think I want to put these guys on. Oh, Lord. Mercy, mercy me. I just dropped a bunch of stuff on the floor, but we'll get it later. I'm going to put these guys off to the side. That way I can rotate the book. And I double loaded this brush, by the way. And I'm using my Escoda 10. It's a synthetic squirrel. But any brush will do. It's just a brush that I like personally. And that's the best advice I can give anybody about doing these things, is pick up a brush or use a brush that you like. I think one of the keys to this working and looking good is the fact that it's got a really tiny point. It comes to a tiny point and keeps its point, or can keep have its point reestablished, maybe is a better word, easily. And then if you want to do this, you want to make these not precision boxes by any means, but you know, I'm going for a box effect. And these paints are fairly opaque, if you don't already know. They're more like a gouache than a watercolor. But as you saw, I drew my box and then filled it in. And it works pretty well most of the time when I do it that way. And I don't clean my brush between colors. First of all, I typically use most of the color that's on the brush. But second of all these colors are in the same family, so I'm not going to get mud. So it's not a big deal. And like in the case of that one, I double loaded the brush, which means I put 2 colors on the brush. I dipped it first in the lighter color and then in the darker color. And you want to do it in that order, because it's easier to clean the lighter color out of the dark than the reverse. Cleaning a darker color out of the light, ooh, that's a little bit of an uphill battle. It can be done, but it's just not fun. As you can see, I'm just alternating colors and sizes, and these can get really thick and gooey, creamy, kind of like I don't know, almost like a syrup kind of consistency, but not that sticky, but kind of that thickness, or pancake batter or something like that. as they activate. So it's not always what you want. So that's a little gloppier and goopier. They're creamy, which is nice, but at the same time it's not always great. Or you get too much accidentally because you barely touch it, and then wow, got a whole lot of that, didn't I? And then one of the other things I do is I try to break up my lines so I don't have vertical. See, there's a vertical line here, and there's a vertical line here, and there's a vertical line here. At some point I broke it up here, as you can see. I'm going to do the same thing with some of these other ones so that it's not all samey. And then the other thing I do is I'll do long ones, vertical boxes, and then I'll do some horizontal boxes like here. I'm about to do one here. And that it just makes my eye happy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And when I'm making this box right here, one of the things I'll do is I'll go down below this purple so they don't end in the same spot, because it just makes your eye travel around the page, I think. And that's just, all that means is that's just a fancy way of saying it's fun to look at. Your eyes, you're drawn to it, you're attracted to it, you like it without knowing why. Sorry for all the moving around, but it's just part of this process, is moving the paper. For me, I can't do it. I could do it. I don't want to do it in another way. Now the next one of these I make, oh, I should have gone here. You know what? We're thinking on the fly here. We're going to just go ahead and do this in real time. I'm going to go down a little bit more. Try to scrub out that line. And then we're going to go and cover up. Just going to do like a little upside down Oklahoma here. And if you break into song, I will hit you. Just kidding. Kinda. It's not my favorite song. I love musicals. I grew up doing them. College, and I go to New York and see them, but man, that is not one of my favorites. And it should be. By all accounts, it should be, but it's just, I guess maybe because we did it in college and I just heard that song 300,000 times in rehearsals. And okay. See, now I broke that line up. And I'll keep the other lines consistent, and then later I'll break those up as we go. Yeah. Is that broken? Did I take that across far enough? Maybe a little bit further. And that's throwing off my squared off box, but okay. All right, now we've got some mass tones here, or some full strength. Let's go a little paler, meaning a lot more water. And we'll just do this. Yeah. I should not have gone all the way to that edge, but I did. This one's going to be more watery. Very little pigment in this one, and dreamy and creamy. I'm pretty sure that's their technical name. Creamy and dreamy. Yep, fairly sure it is. Ooh, man, I want to cover these up so bad. And I may do it off camera, just to see if I hate it or love it. All right. Let's do a small purple box. Pale. We'll do kind of pale here. Zip. And then once you get going, there's a little bit of a pill on that red, on that crimson. So I just make my purple box match it. Even if it isn't exactly square. I think that keeping the white part consistent is a cool idea. I will tell you one other thing about this practice, this exercise, these boxes, is that it's really easy to smudge them and not mean to, and you have to take a break now and again and get the and let them dry. See, like right now, I really want to put my hand here and I can't. Luckily, they dry pretty quick. But you just might need to walk away for 5 or 10 minutes and then come back. Or go work on another piece like over here. Now I'm not re-wetting this or repigmenting this, and I am just going to put in, see how I broke the line here? And by not adding any more pigment, just adding water, I can now change the conversation to something a bit more muted, and that gives a contrast to that darker color there. Even though I use the same color, I'm just tidying up my box here, which can be a bit like cutting your bangs when you're 6, but I think it'll work out okay. And then let me grab some, maybe a alizarin crimson. I'm going to do maybe one more and then give it a little bit of a break to, let's do this way. I'm trying to keep this one pretty muted too. Or maybe a mid-tone would be better here. Ooh, touch that one. You know it right away when you do it. And that, my friends, is how you lose footage on your camera. You pause it, then something happens. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. All right, it's been a couple minutes. Everything is still cool, but it's dry to the touch, and that's the biggest thing, is you just don't want to be sticking your arm in it. All right, let's go over here. And I'm not following any particular pattern or flow. I'm just kind of doing it intuitively at this point, just to create a cohesive color story, as they would say. How Pinky's up of me. But it's more meditative than anything. I enjoy using a similar color palette because then I don't have to think about getting mud or anything like that. And then once you've done a couple of these, the process kind of becomes routine. Not routine, well, okay, routine. It becomes automatic, or like autopilot. All right, what do I want next? I think I want a double load. Maybe. I'll keep this one skinny. Yeah, I'll keep this one skinny. There's a really thick line of pigment here, so I'm just trying to scrub that out a little bit. Pull it down. Kind of spread it out a little. And I could go for more. But I think I'm going to do some white doodle on top, white doodle pens on top. White doodles and gel pen. I can talk on top. And so the background matters a lot less when I know I'm going to do that. Which means that my backgrounds need to be not too pale like that. Not too many of them, because the white will completely disappear on that. Completely disappear. I mean, they'll be there, but you just won't be able to see them. You know what I meant. And I think I mentioned before, I drew grid lines. So I've got some verticals that are spaced about 1 inch apart or so. Then I have some horizontals that are like, I think I just divided it into thirds. I wasn't real scientific about the lines. You don't have to be. It just helps me keep my boxes. Because I tend to list. I list to the right when I'm painting. Probably because I'm right-hand dominant, but it just helps my boxes stay a bit more. Are they perfect? No, but they're close enough. I mean, you can see from this page, I did a grid on this one. Are they perfect? They're not. But they aren't leaning like Pisa. And I have some pieces that I've worked that they lean like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So it can happen. It does happen. And the pencil lines, you can see them. I mean, it runs through that box right there. I don't know if you can see it down that low, but see when I lift it up, you see it. But first of all, when you're away from it, unless you get right up on it, you're not going to see it. But second of all, if you doodle over top, those pencil lines disappear. So I don't sweat the pencil lines too much. You can make them fainter than me, or you can make them darker. It don't matter. The point is just to get out your paints and doodle and paint and swirl paint on paper and play with stuff and mix things and blend things and make mistakes and try again. Right? Right. That's how I feel anyway. My mama was very fond of saying to me, and she said it to me one time, very, well, it would sound like a dramatic movie, Lifetime movie, but it was on her deathbed. And she said to me, baby girl, people are not going to remember how many times you fell down. What they're going to remember is how many times you got up. And the point of me saying that is experiment. People are not going to care if you flub up. They're just going to care that you try. At least that's how I feel. And I touch that one into that, which means they're going to, yeah, but it's just the way it is. I don't like it when I do that, but that's part of it. Okay, let's get a bit more done. The other thing, if I can do a piece of encouragement or advice, is if something is intimidating, do it a bite at a time. Just say, I'm going to do this for 5 minutes, or I'm going to do this for 10 minutes, or I'm going to do this for a little period of time because I want to get better at it, but I feel intimidated by the prospect of it. And then walk away and come back and see how you feel about it. And if it's really, you hate it or whatever, put it away. Come back to it in a week, a day, a month. But do it a little bit at a time. Don't feel like you have to finish it. I know when I first started doing like journaling and art journals rather, And sketchbooks, I thought that each piece had to be a masterpiece and each piece had to be finished. You come back and add to it. There was a piece I did a couple pages back. It's probably been a month. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was. I started off and just did these swirly-doos, and I was like, okay. It was okay. I didn't love it. So I came back and I added white doodles to it. And now I love it. And it was like a month difference in between them. Okay. Got a nice solid line going there. Not sure I like that little horizontal line, but we're gonna soldier on. Okay, good. Now let's go this way a little bit. I just hit a, yeah, I just hit something off camera that now transferred paint to it. Yay! It's fine. It's fine. Pick your favorite colors. Start playing with those first. Blues and greens or pinks or whatever your favorite colors are. Pick those. And just play with them and play with them and make circles, make squares, make triangles. Ovals. Look at me not turning my book. That's what happens when I get warmed up. I don't have to turn my book as much. Yay, me. Now this is not any more pigment, it's just water. We're going to see what kind of color we get here. Ooh, nice. Very pale. It's almost a pink. Fun. Yes, that's the point. Are we having fun? I am. Mind the paint. It's a very awkward hand placement, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Just added water. I'm going to do a teeny tiny square. Well, not teeny, a skinny wide square. What I was trying to say. Well, so much for skinny. 6-year-old bangs haircut again. Should get a one of my flat brushes and try to do some skinny stripes with those. Those would be better than trying to use a round, but I get in the zone. I don't want to pull out another brush. I know. First world problems. That's what I get for not turning the book. When I turn it, I can get a really nice corner on that box. I like that a lot. Ooh, that is super gloppy. Look at that. See how much pigment I picked up? Try to return some of that. Return to sender. Alrighty, let's see. Let's go long way this way. And then we're going to kind of break some of those lines up on this row. As you can see, I broke up. Well, yeah, you see what I'm doing. And the other thing I find is if I just keep going, even if I, hate a color palette I've chosen, like this one is like, I thought I was going to like this one better than I do. But my other rule of thumb is add a layer. So I'm going to finish up this, I'm going to finish it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to add a layer of gel, white gel, or gold. Gold would be another option. I might do gold instead of white this time, actually. Now that I say that. Because I always keep a gold hanging around. I keep this Uniball Signo Broad gold. I might do gold instead of white. Gold would be really pretty on top of this, I think, actually. Oh, white would too. Okay. Both are going to be, or black. But for the sake of, since I've already done white on a couple other pages, I might go gold on this one just to give myself, because this, I use this as a place to play and a reference and a jumping off place, so that when I go to do a piece, I can see how colors work together, and I can see how it just gives me a reference. Anyway. All right, let's try a really skinny, I've got a fat, flat, say that 10 times fast, brush. Do I have a thin, flat brush? I do. I do here. This is another Escoda. I only own 2 Escoda brushes, and this is it's a 10 also, but it's, as you can see, it's a flat. So we're going to try to do a little tiny flat right there. Wish me luck. Not that skilled in the flat brushes. I have all of my paintings for the most part are done with round. I've been trying to work on more projects though with the flat, so I can, do a better job, be a bit more proficient, have a better skill set. And when in doubt, go slow. Okay, that turned out pretty cute. I like that. All right, let's do another one underneath it. Let's go crimson. I'm gonna stand up. Yeah, it's like that. Oh, shoot. Touched it. Dang. Oh well. Worst things in life. Alright, let's do in threes, right? So let's do one more. Let's do this ballet pink. Oh, I hate that I'm getting so much crimson in that, but I'll clean it out in a minute. Alright, I'm going to wipe that brush clean and try that again. There we go. And I've not mentioned this before in this video, although I have in others, and I'll show you here in a second. You did not hear me wipe this off in the water, because what I do is I keep a book off to the side that I scribble. This one happens to be scribbled a lot of markers, but there I just scribbled off that pink paint. And then when I'm done, or when this page gets full, I use punches, and I punch hearts or circles or whatever out, and I use them for greeting cards or mixed media projects or whatever. But I very rarely wash my brush off in water, except at the end of the day, and it's after I've scribbled my brushes on. I'm practicing with my, I got quiet because I'm practicing with my flat. I'm not very good at this still. But you don't get better if you don't practice, right? Practice what I preach. Okay. Alright, I feel like I need to let this layer dry. It's a little gooey and gloppy. And I'll be back. You won't notice a difference, but I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'll let these things dry a little bit, and that's helpful, I think. I'm going to use some bigger squares. I started off with some really big ones, and then I kind of got smaller. So as I'm looking, I think I need to make some bigger ones. So I might do like a good sized, maybe I'll make a good sized one here going this way. Anyway, that's kind of what I was noticing as I was just kind of taking it all in, is, you know, you want to have your colors kind of scattered throughout and all the colors represented, but then I think you also want to have a size thing too. Sometimes I get on a kick and I go too small for a while, and that's clearly what I've been doing, so let's fix that. Alright, let's do... You just want to repeat things. Colors and sizes. That's all I'm saying. I like it when I can square up my corners. That's kind of why I'm doing this. It helps me practice that. Alright, now let's make a really big one like right here. What color do I want for that? I think I want to go with this really pinky purple. Or it's pinky with some of this purple mixed in. Because the brush still had some of that mauve in it. I'm going to go all the way across just like that. Now we'll go with looks like I had my lunch on this paper. I've got all kinds of like little brown dots and stuff. I don't know if that's from, but it's not an attractive look. We're going to carry on. This doesn't feel even. There, that feels better. Of course, I just went outside the box here. great. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go over all the way over to there. Okay, this still doesn't feel quite squared off. Yeah. And then I'll do maybe another one over here and then maybe another one over here. I think. Now I've got to figure out what I'm doing with that little section. I didn't think about that when I did it, did I? Nope, I sure didn't. All right, let's do a super skinny line with this salmon-y color. I know it's got a name, but I'm not tipping it over. And we're doing it with a round brush. Ooh, that was a squeaker. Too much, too close. Oh well. It's fine. Okay. I misjudged that one. Oh well. We can pull off a couple of squares here. It's gooey, sticky. It's not moving. More water. Okay. Should we do a third one? Sure. What color? And this one. Feels like the other one. Alright, whatever. Sheesh. My lines are all to heck. You know what? We'll go longer on this guy. I don't like my technique right now that I'm doing. This little strokey, flick is not great. And I'm off camera while doing the strokey, flick, which is never good. You know how cars nowadays have, you know, like warning when somebody's getting in your lane or you're drifting or whatever? I need one of those for my painting. Camera to, what is it, shock collar attached? Danger! Kind of thing. All right. Now where? Let's go over here. We're just going to play fill in the gap. Can be a strange size box here, but just filling in the gaparoo. no. Let's do a double load. Let's grab a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's do a medium-sized box here. Mind the wet, mind the paint, mind the camera. So many things to mind. I'm sorry, did that sound like I was complaining? I didn't mean to. Okay. Nice. I think I need to kind of go dark purple somewhere over here somewhere, but I don't know. Ooh, you know what I haven't done is I haven't mixed crimson and mauve, whatever. Where should I put that? Here. I really kind of want it here. All right, doing it here. All the way to the bottom. Once more to the breach. All the way to the bottom, my friends. Okay, crimson and mauve. I've always called it mauve my whole life. And then not too long ago, I heard somebody call it mauve, which is probably British, how they say it in the UK. And I found, it struck me as just kind of funny that the way it sounded, I don't know why. You notice I'm pushing here instead of pulling. Yep, that was a dangerous exercise, but we did it. Yay! And I've been calling it mauve ever since because I'm fascinated by how it sounds. When I first heard it, I blanched. It was like a winced going, ugh. That's a horrible way to say that word. And now I just can't stop saying it that way. Mauve. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We like you the mauve. We like you the mauve. All right, I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is work backwards. I want this a big like square here, and I think the crimson. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it now, and then go back and fill in the other. Oh, these are getting they're drying out a little bit. I'm gonna have to reactivate them slightly. They're sticky. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a big crimson here. Yep, go big or go home. You heard it here first. And then I'll backfill that space that I just left. Obviously, that was a no-brainer. Or, you know, it's pretty self-evident what was going to happen, but why do I keep sticking my brush in the water? I don't need to do that. I don't know. All right, let's go south, young man, right here. I love how crisp a line that creates. Isn't that pretty? Yep, it is. It's one of the reasons I love a round brush that's made out of squirrel. I think squirrel's my favorite. It's synthetic squirrel, but the idea being that particular bristle versus that particular type of, I just like the amount of water it holds and how crisp the point stays. when you're using it. I like it. Okay, so we've got 3 big boxes here, 2 big boxes, some mediums. We might do one more medium. Do I want to do it now and get it locked in and then come back and fill in the littles? I think I do. Do I want it here? I don't know. I think so. Do I want it horizontal or do I want it vertical? This is very square. This is horizontal. It's not big. It's not. Yeah, it's a medium. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just want all smalls. Or do I want one more? Maybe I want one more like in the salmon-y colors. Okay, but where? Here? Down here at the bottom? No, I think I want it here. I think I want it kind of like, whoa, nervous. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to move that up so you can. All right, let's try putting it. Let's try going pretty salmon-y pinky. Yep. Mind the paint. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be about right. Then the rest will be smalls. Right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's, got a little bit left on my brush, so I'm just going to add some water to it and go here. Got too close. Did an overrun. Okay. There. That's pretty good. Now we're going to leave that salmon and then pick up a little bit of this pale pink. And we're going to come here and do a small square, I think. Mind the paint. Ooh. Go slow, go slow. That's not always my strong suit. Slowly. Okay. Then I'm gonna give that a minute to dry and then we'll fill in the other. Now let's just do that same color. Let's pick up a little bit more. And a little bit more of that salmon. Ooh, that was not enough salmon. Or not enough pale pink. Boom. 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 All right. Now let's grab the mauve. let's do a little mauve here. Nah, let's do the whole thing. Because it's got a lot of the salmon in it still, and some of that other pale pink. That baby pink. I think it'll fill in nicely. See what a nice crisp line that makes? I just love that. I get much crisper border boxes if I turn it all four, but you know, I don't always. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little of the purpley mauve. I get lazy, I don't want to turn it. See what a pretty crisp edge that makes. Oh, my own worst enemy. Because I don't want to turn stuff. See what a nice crisp box that made. Yep. I like it. Alright, let's grab this some pale pink and throw that in here. And then once we're done with these, we're gonna let them all the way dry. Probably give them a good half hour. Might not need that much time, but I probably will. Just to make sure I don't stick my finger in it like that. Ugh. So how I ended out with a paper towel and got moved. Give it a good half hour to dry, and then I'll come back and decide. I'll have decided whether it's going to be white or gold, and I'm leaning towards. Oh gosh, I was going to do gold, but now I'm leaning back towards white again. I'm so fickle. Just like the look of white on top. I think white makes a nice doodle. Gold does too, but I don't know. I think the reason I tend towards the white is because I have, oopsie, because I have different nib sizes. Like this one is a 10. These aren't my favorites actually, these jelly rolls. This one's an 8. I just dropped a 5. And then I've got this guy broad, but I've got some other whites too. I've got like these from who are these by? Papermate. These are by Jelly Roll. But anyway, when you have a variety of sizes, I guess I'll like a variety of sizes too. I really am tempted to fix this because this is just too splotchy for my taste, and just it's not going to look good when I go to put white doodling on top because there's so much white showing through. So yeah, I'm fixing it. Just retracing the whole box. Okay, so got a couple more boxes here. What if we do I added a little purple to the crimson. That always gets a nice color. All right, and then what do we say? A little bit of this guy here, and it's going to be this messy color of mutt. A little bit of everything in this little particular brush at the moment. I didn't clean it off, it just kept going. Probably ought wanted that paler than I did, but eh. Here, let me see if I can. I just wiped my brush off on my book. Oh, I'm gonna have some hard edges. Never mind. Just kidding. Just leave it alone. Let it do its thing. All right, let's let her dry, and then we will come back and see what pens we want to use. I'm gonna go white. I just have to decide, you know, what patterns I'm gonna use. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, everything is nice and dry, and we can start doing some doodles. Doodlios. I don't like that side. I just had to do white, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. I'm gonna do circles here. Kind of make sense of these splodges. Yes, that's an official word, a splodge. I may add some more circles, but I'm going to start with these. Yeah, that's about as boring as you can get. Alright, let's add some more circle-y doos. And I like to make it where some of it's going off the edge. I decide if I should color those in. I might color those in, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, even better. Good idea. Glad I thought of it. Yeah, but what am I going to do with these other ones? Well, cross one bridge at a time, right? This is a Posca, by the way. It's a size 5. PCM5, that's what it's called. Well, it's probably my favorite size Posca to use, other than there's some really little, like felt tip. Felt nib. Why can't I say what I'm trying to say? I'll probably pull some of those white ones out too. Because they help you get some really nice lines. Very polka dotty. Okay, I'm not making any sense. Let's grab one of those felt tip. Oh, where did I put them? Ah! Oh, here. Okay. These guys. These are the PC1MR. They've got a really nice nib on those. I'll grab one of those. And then I'm going to grab one of these, which is the PC8K. This has got a monster wedgie tip on it. Yep, let's see. We could do some nice stripes on these, like some really big angular stripes, like maybe here. Boom. Boom. Well, this is not making sense what I'm doing here. Let's try this again. see what else we got in our bag of tricks. And then here's an 8 jelly roll. Let's make sure this is working. Yep. Okay. What do we want to do? Yeah, I'm going to flip back to another page and remind myself. Oh, okay. Let's do an echo. Went a bit wonky there, didn't I? Okay. I'm flipping back to another page where I did doodles, and I have another book where I kind of keep random doodles on file. All right, what about some ovals? Ooh, yeah, let's do ovals like this. The thing about gel pens is once in a while they get gummed up on you. You kind of got to have a place to... There we go, it's better. I'll go back over these. They pick up schmutz and stuff when you're... Alright, I am not happy with that. Let's go back to the Signo. The thing I like about this is that if you don't press too hard, you get a really nice line. It doesn't have like a little smudge in the middle of it. Yeah, I love all these technical terms. Smudge, squiggly doos. Anyway, all right, so there's that. And yes, I'm going to fill in every square because that's how crazy I am. And I'm just referencing this page here is all I'm doing. All right, a leaf pattern or a square or a dot line. Dot line doesn't really lend itself in this scenario though, does it? It doesn't. All right, what about if I did a running leaf in this red where I started here. And then I just kind of like keep turning the corner on itself until it fills the box. These are more like berries than leaves. Not sure I love this pattern, but then again, this is why you try things. I like it better when it's just a straight line. Turning corners isn't easy. It's not easy being green. Okay. There's that one. What about just some straight lines? Sure. Got lines there though. Got lines there. Now let's come back to that in a second. Where's my Posca? Here's that little guy. I think my two favorites are the Signo Uniball and this Posca PC1 MR. They're my favorites for doodling on top of something else. Darken this line a little bit. Probably ought to make this a little easier to see. There we go. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is vary the width, the weight with the, yeah, and then lines versus circles versus, all right, what am I going to do with these guys? Maybe I'll just draw circles, just leave it. I know it's right next to some other circles, but maybe I'll put a dot in the middle. Like circle, circle, dot, dot. Now you got a cootie shot. Not the worst idea. Not the best either. Okay, what else we got? I'll just try some dashes. Yeah. And then what about some big zigzags like this? Okay, this is another favorite. Those are my three. All right. Reference photo again. Well, I have a book somewhere. I could do dots. Oh, okay, I'll do that. I could do like a row of dots, polka dots, just in a very pattern kind of way. Ish. Wow, that disappeared completely. So those light colors for you. I may come back to that one. I don't know. A lot of the same thing over and over, I realize, but what else you gonna do? Okay. Come on. Can you tell I like dots? I do, I do, I do. I'm trying to put these on an angle, but I'm not sure that really, I think it just ended up being a bit random and messy, but it's okay. All right, let's do some more lines. Okay. It's faint, but you can see it. Okay, let's do a leafy pattern. Where can we stick a leafy pattern in here? Got a lot of lines happening. There's another picture here. What could I do? Oh, some squiggles. A wandering squiggle line. Let's do that here. I call this the family circus. If you know, you know. circus. We could do a basket weave. That would be a good idea. All right, let's go back to the gel pen. Maybe. Nope, we're just going to do this, and then we'll go to a smaller one to the basket weave. Well, no, I've got that there. All right, fine. I got stuck. You get stuck. It's not what I wanted, but we're making a new pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, new pattern. New pattern just created on the fly. You saw it here first. All right, let's do. Bubbles. All right. Stonehenge. I don't know if that's his name or not. That's what I'm calling it. And a skinny Stonehenge all the way here at the end. Except I might want to put some dots in the middle of Stonehenge, or do I want some lines? Maybe some lines would be fun, just like, yeah, you need the noise. And each one would get its own. Okay. I think we can start repeating like Well, that seems pointless. You can't even see those now. Alright, fine. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave that like it is. No dots in it. No dots at all. What else can I do? Oh, I can't stand it. I want dots. Just make them little. All about scale, different scales. Now let's start repeating some things. Repeat some big stripes, but this time now let's just go straight up and down. Let's go like this. Yep. And now let's do an echo. Because this is acrylic paint, you'd think it would sit on top better than it does. Sometimes I have to come back and reapply. Do a second coat to make it stand out. And now I think it's just about repeating the patterns you've already started. But changing it slightly. I did it that way there, put lines in it there. So it's not all the samey. And this time I went this way, next time I might go like down here. Alright, I'll go ahead and do it here. Just remember, don't put your fingers in it, hand in it. Right? I must have dropped a drop of water right there when I wasn't looking. Oopsie, off camera. Dang it. I'll move my palettes out of the way, sorry. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? Need some little ones. Okay. What about some, oh, right. How don't we do? Trying to get that guy to dry so I can come up here and do this one that I haven't done. And these two. That's a new pattern too. Don't ask me what it's called because I don't know yet. Are you dry? You feel dry? Barely see that one, but it's done. It's in there. I love how precision you can get with this little felt tip Posca. The bullet tip I like for different reasons, but this little guy, I love him. In fact, I loved him so much I just bought the one color. I went back and bought a multi-pack in all the colors. Yeah, I did. But watch, I just used the white. Whatever. Can't have too many pens around. Nope. No, you can't. I could do another big stripe. I did diagonal, up and down. I think I want to do another diagonal. Maybe here, going the other way. Maybe I want to turn it and go. No, I like the fat white side on it. Oopsie. Trying to square off those stripes a little bit. I'm sure there's a better way I could have done that, but there we go. Okay. I'm a little stumped. Running out of ideas. Okay, what if I do like a big diamond? Okay, hello, wake up. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll just color it in. Oh yeah, 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 we like that. We'll do another one right here. No, maybe down here. So we've got a repeat of the pattern. All right, if we've got circles, if we've got squares, if not had to diamond, might do another one, a little one over here. Is it too much? Too much? Too much? I don't think so. What if we did a heart? You know, like all the suits of the plane of the deck. Except I don't have anywhere to put one up here. All right, let's do. Yeah. Okay, do we fill it in? Yeah, I think we do. Then we could do like a dot background. I know, I'm obsessed with dots. Sue me. But they look good. Get a little soupier so it lays down a little more paint. Alright, now we come back. Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, home stretch. Got a couple more to go. Should we do a family circus on this big one here? I think so. All right, family circus on that one. What about sideways boxes on this one? I know they're right there and right there, but I don't think anybody's going to care. And now what I'm looking to do more than anything is just kind of like adjust the graphics so that there's a tension, you know, like we've got lines, dots, or way, you know, leaf, organic shapes, dots, and so I added stripes. Organic circles. So now I think I want like an argyle, almost. What was that one I wanted to do? Okay. Let that dry, and I'm going to put like little dots in between it. Oh, I'm going to do another heart over here too. There we go. like a flag. That was not my intention. But that's okay. Yeah. It's kind of going for a quilt, but that's okay. Very graphic, but I like it. Oh yeah. Okay, I got 2 left. Is that it? 1, 2? I think so. I've had this uncovered for too long. It starts getting gunked up. Oop, off camera. Oh, dang, sorry. Again. How do I learn? I don't know. Hopefully one day soon. I want to capture the detail, but at the same time, I forget to keep checking to make sure I'm on screen. Oh, this is gunked. I'll try my gel pen, see if that's better. I only have 2 left. I'd spend the time to clean it out right now, but I only have 2 left. 1. And then, oh, lied. I have 3. Oh, let's do the dashes. Do the dashes up top. Okay, that's good. And then I did that. Okay. No. All right, what else could I use? Can I use this one? Ish. Okay. Clean it out. Good enough. Close enough. Do I have any empty squares? I don't believe I do. I'm gonna back out. Zoom out. Okay. I wish I'd gotten some more graphic ones up here. I had the dice, but like a diamond or a heart up here would have been nice, but you know, I thought of it after I got going. Anyway, that's going to do it for me this time. Boy, thanks for sticking around if you stuck this far. That was a long one, but I sure had fun and hope you did too. See you again soon. Bye.